Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Viewers, recently, the international defense world was shocked by a rare incident in the skies over Finland. During a large-scale NATO air combat exercise, the French fighter jet, Dassault Rafale, successfully executed a surprising maneuver, locked onto radar, and simulated shooting down the US F-35 Lightning II, a fifth-generation stealth aircraft touted as one of the most advanced fighter jets in the world. This incident is not just an ordinary simulation. What happened in the skies over Finland proves that cutting-edge technology does not always guarantee victory. The Rafale, a 4.5 generation fighter jet made in France, managed to show its prowess even against the most expensive US fighter jets. Well, is this a sign that the superiority of the F-35 is starting to be questioned? Or is this just evidence that in modern warfare, pilot instinct, strategy, and smart tactics remain decisive factors? No one expected that in a tightly designed training scenario, a 4.5 generation fighter jet like the Rafale could engage and even subdue the F-35, which is touted as one of the most advanced fighter jets in the world. The air encounter started with a simulated beyond visual range BVR mission. The F-35, equipped with stealth technology and the most advanced AESA radar, was expected to dominate the skies undetected. However, Rafale pilots actually have a different strategy. They use a combination of low maneuver tactics, passive radar, and the utilization of Finland's geographical terrain, which is filled with forests and mountains. The French pilot, taking advantage of the agility of his aircraft in close-range dogfights. As the F-35 approached the simulated target area, the Rafale's radar successfully tracked the stealth jet. In a matter of seconds, the Rafale's avionics system locked onto the target and a simulated missile was launched. The warning alarm sounded in the F-35 cockpit. The US pilot tried to maneuver to escape the firing zone, but in the computer scenario, the F-35 was declared to have received a kill shot. This victory suddenly became a hot topic of discussion at the Training Command Center. Senior officers from various NATO countries witnessed firsthand how the 4.5 generation aircraft could surprise the 5th generation jet. Although it is only a simulation, the implications of this incident are quite serious. NATO must now reevaluate its collective air tactics. It is not enough to rely solely on stealth technology. Pilots, strategy, and battlefield understanding are equally important. Meanwhile, the Rafale jet itself is not an ordinary aircraft. With super cruise capability, advanced fusion sensors, and Mica and Meteor air-to-air missiles, the Rafale has long been regarded as one of the best multi-role fighter jets in the world. The French pilot, referred to in this incident as one of the experienced aces, has been involved in many international exercises. His calmness when facing the F-35 was one of the determining factors for the success of this simulation. In this case, the F-35 pilot did not make any fatal mistakes. However, the tactics used were not effective enough to face the opposing pilot, who was already prepared with anti-stealth strategies. Some defense analysts assess that this event reaffirms the weakness of the F-35 in close combat. The aircraft is indeed designed for BVR dominance, but once it enters the dogfight area, its advantages decrease drastically. This exercise in Finland has also become a subject of intensive study at the Pentagon. US officials refuse to regard it as a defeat, but they acknowledge that there are many important lessons to be learned from the simulation. Meanwhile, European media have been abuzz reporting that the French public welcomed it with pride. Rafale has proven itself once again, as it was able to challenge the most expensive US fighter jet, something that was difficult to imagine before. In fact, some observers have stated that this incident can serve as a promotional material for Dassault Aviation in an effort to sell Rafale to countries that are still hesitant between choosing the F-35 or Rafale. As the host, Finland itself feels that this exercise has been successful. They managed to provide a complex and realistic training ground, allowing each country to truly test the capabilities of their air defense systems. In the post-training briefing room, the French pilot explained that he intentionally exploited the active radar weakness of the F-35 by staying in passive mode and using optical sensors. The Rafale was able to approach without being detected too quickly. When close enough, the Rafale used its thrust-to-weight ratio advantage to maneuver aggressively. At this point, the training computer system recorded that the F-35 was already in the dead zone position. The reaction from the U.S. side tends to be diplomatic. They called the results of this exercise an important proof of the collaboration among NATO members, rather than a competition to see who is superior. However, behind the scenes, some U.S. defense officials are quite concerned. If in training the F-35 can be defeated, what about in a real conflict against an enemy with fighter jets like the Rafale or even the Russian Su-57? This question has become a subject of long discussion among military analysts. Some argue that the F-35 remains superior in network-centric warfare roles, but in a one-on-one duel, just like the Rafale, can still pose a threat. This exercise in Finland also reinforces that technology cannot stand alone. Pilots with high flight hours, creative strategies, and an understanding of the combat environment can change the outcome of battles. For France, this is a special pride. The Rafale, which was initially underestimated during its development, now proves itself worthy to stand alongside those fifth-generation aircraft. NATO emphasized that this exercise is not intended to assess who is superior, but rather to improve joint readiness. However, the media continues to highlight the victory of the Rafale over the F-35 as the main headline. The French pilot involved in this simulation concluded the briefing with a simple statement: technology is important, but pilot instinct and strategy remain the determining factors in combat. This incident will be remembered as one of the most dramatic aerial training moments in NATO history, where the revered F-35 stealth was successfully defeated by the Rafale using clever tactics. Ultimately, the skies of Finland not only witnessed military exercises, but also served as a proving ground that in modern air warfare, no technology is truly invulnerable.